If it goes to double digits, I'll switch everything over. This expansion is definitely gonna break records. Like literally, so many records. The amount of player base, it's gonna win a bunch of awards, like game of the year, expansion of the year, MMO of the year, like RPG of the everything. There's not a single game that's out that can beat this game award wise. At least I don't think so. Um, I really don't think so. And if there are, I'd be very curious. It's got to be like a single player experience that's like indicative of like whatever the game is. So, it is time. Sorry, I immediately got hyped. Hey, listen, we're in here though. Mentorship renewal. Whatever. Dog, look at all this. Okay. Sick. Let's go, boys. I already see that my Blood of the Dragoon is missing too. I'm not gonna even touch anything in terms of my whatchamacallit. However, give me 2 seconds. I just need to kind of modify some of the stuff I got here. I have it very meticulous and specific, so lovely. Alright. Now we can get on with the show. Bro, I got lost for a minute. I'm like, where the heck am I going? Also, if anybody wants like a tidbit hint, if you want to not deal with server congestion crap, then change your instance to instance 3. I see that. Hold on, because I see that it's actually lagging a little bit. I mean, there shouldn't be any reason for it though, but you know what? Actually, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. I'll tell you exactly why it's lagging. We're in instance. Oh no, we're in instance 2 now. Okay. There's nobody. You gotta change the instance. Oh, you know what? Actually, no. It's this area because everybody's here right now. In this area. Okay. That actually makes sense. Horsenut, chestnut. What? That actually makes more sense. Okay. Do you have some time to talk? Yes. I would like to gather everyone in Dawn's Respite and together assess the situation in which we find ourselves. Hopefully the cutscene doesn't lag though. Oh, we're golden. I see it. Ooh. Let us take stock of the facts, shall we? The crisis at hand began with the sudden appearance of ominous towers in a multitude of locations throughout the world. True. We have since learned that said structures were brought into being by an organization known as the Talaferoi. Oh my god, yes. Literally just turn this off. Don't look at this. I mean, if anything, put me on like super low volume and then just to the side. Yeah. Because I don't want you to learn through me. Yeah. I'm sorry. Okay. The Talaferoi's stated purpose is to recreate the final days of Eon's past, an apocalyptic event that will result in the destruction of all we hold dear. Do you hear that music? Already have those towers of theirs have been the cause of untold suffering. Countless innocents kidnapped and imprisoned, and their faith perverted for primal summonings. Do you hear that music though? Oh my god. And unless we find a way to deal with the corruptive aura surrounding the spires, we can't even get close enough to rescue anyone. Those shielded with the blessing of light seem able to resist being tempered at least. But after what happened to our involved in Fordola, we need to be very, very careful about how we proceed. Yet, while these threats close to home are of paramount concern, we mustn't lose sight of the situation in Garlemald. Right, because there's a civil war happening. As you know, the Talaferoi are under the leadership of Fandaniel and one other delightful fellow, Zenos Yegalvis. the Crown Prince and our dear friend. To date, he's reclaimed his old body, murdered Emperor Varus, and plunged Garlemald into an even deeper pit. I like that they're actually summarizing what's happening in whatchamacallit. The capital has seen the worst of it. For a good while there, it saw the bloodiest fighting in the War of Succession, but that has since changed and in troubling ways. Yeah. Aye, during our reconnaissance, the air was not once rent by the barking of cannons or the cries of discord. 'Twas an eerie fog of silence which did blanket that ruined city. So it's quiet in Garlemald? Okay. The inhabitants appear to have been tempered. Oh, that makes sense, actually. And with nary a word spoken, they did labor to transform the palace into a soaring edifice born of nightmares. Ooh. Okay. If they were indeed made thralls, it seems safe to assume that these events, too, were orchestrated by this Lofroy. Okay, so then they're involved with Garlemald's control, too. An unaware primal is awful enough, but in light of recent developments, I fear it is only a prelude to an even greater catastrophe. We need to devise a means to counter this threat, and quickly before our allies are overwhelmed. We will find a way in Charlie, and I am sure of it. Master Fortune's comments regarding the final days were curious to say the least. The Forum knows more than it's letting on. Sorry to interrupt. We just received word from Mistress Cryo. She says that arrangements for your visit has been finalized. Let's go. You're to head to Lumsa and board the next ship bound for Sessiion. Ooh, okay. And on arrival, present yourselves as associates of the students of Baldessian. Come to assist with the Order's restoration. The arrangements may be settled, but what are your thoughts? They must race at the prospect of returning home after so long. No, only certain sections are going to be like this because of how the fact that everyone is doing this section at the same time. So once we leave this area and we go to the new areas, it'll definitely die down. So yeah, we gotta just wait. It's gonna be like this. Like I said, we're gonna be doing this more than once. I promise you. Like I'm not gonna just be streaming this one time. So. I am eager to see it, of course. Of course. Well, we should set up for once. Then I'll accompany you to the docks. You need at least one person there to wave and cry and wish you a safe journey. Oh, Tataru. Yeah, because ultimately I'm running this with all my characters publicly, so. Well, the ones that are, like, you know, I have this. That music is sick! Alright. Yeah. No, I'm, like I said, once we leave this area, because, like, you don't see people here, but there's a bunch of people here. So that's why. Like, they're all doing this part themselves. So that, like, some cutscene sections are probably going to be kind of laggy, but once we actually get out, then, like, right now, you see the game is running perfectly fine. So yeah, it's good. You really want to make a bunny guy, but you already have two different characters? Woman. Story. I don't care about bunny guys right now. I'm not making my male Viera until like at least a month from now. Here, let's see. This should be yep, Sage is over here. So let's go get that real quick actually. I'll unlock it. It's crazy there's no Blood of the Dragon, man. Can I check something actually? Hold on. Like real quick. Okay. I'm gonna have to get rid of that. See, look at all these people that are here. Yeah, so here's where Sage is at. Ooh, the Sage Crystal's kind of sick. Stone Gold Milpreaves. Oh, interesting. I like that. That's cool. Alright. This is the new job for the game. Yeah. Oh my god, Reaper. I'll definitely go get that later. Limsa Limensa, former distributable haven for pirates. Now one of the realm's finest city-states, boasting a peerless shipping industry and an enviable culinary culture. Oh, how it bustles. The tomes did not lie. I like how I said I wasn't going to do this. I'm doing it. Oh, she's interesting. Well, here I am, mother, in faraway Eorzea. She's a Charlian maiden? Interesting. I will complete this mission just you watching your noble name as a first of my class. I will succeed. And afterwards, perhaps I shall invite our esteemed Illuma Alize for tea at the Bismarck. I'll be envy of everyone. Okay. So I like totally botched that. My apologies. Good, madam. I failed to notice you. I am Laha Jinjal, a native of Charlian. By your appearance, I assume you are an adventurer. Are you perchance well-traveled in Eorzea? I mean, casually. So you are. How very fortuitous, and at least his name you say. I swear I heard it somewhere before. In any event, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Pleasure. As for myself, I am an operative on a mission from the Forum, our nation's governing body. This being my first time in Eorzea, I studied as best as I could in preparation, but there is no substitute for a local's knowledge. Thus did I intend to hire an adventurer like yourself to serve as my escort. The mission is the pursuit of and capture of fugitives, and thus it will entail some danger, but you appear to be no strangers as such. Might you be willing to assist me in this endeavor? Yes, I'd be glad to give you the grand tour. Okay, I mean, sure. Wonderful. Well, I have some skill with a blade, and can fend for myself. I shall be glad of your capable company. Sick. Now then, ere I divulge the particulars of my mission, we should head somewhere more private, perhaps outside the city. By the Zephyr Gate? Sure. I love that. I love the quest sound of opening a quest. That's actually sick. Okay. Let's see where, oh, it's on the other side, actually. We'll do it later. Actually, can we? No, we can't. Let's go do that now, then. Because the thing is, like, I also still have quests from the previous, like, stuff I was doing beforehand. I gotta at least, like, kind of, like, look at all these quests I have. There's so many that I have to do. So, we're gonna have to actually kind of abandon some. Which is actually kind of a pain, but I mean, it's okay. Okay. Look at all these people out here. This is what the game should look like on an everyday basis. Everybody here is just like eerily trying out to unlock these jobs. Forgive me if I seem overly cautious, but this mission is highly confidential. Were the wrong people to learn of it, my superiors would give me an earful. Well, I believe we may speak freely here, so permit me to review on the details. As I mentioned, I'm on this trail of fugitives, criminals who fled Charlia and came to these shores. Extremely dangerous individuals who have enhanced themselves via forbidden means which have rendered them unsound of mind. While in a state of delirium, one of their compatriots even committed murder. He died thereafter due to side effects of his enhancements, but 3 others remained at large and pose a threat to the innocents. Their leader, a Viera male, is also alleged to have stolen valuable technological secrets. Ooh, by way of reference material, I brought this soul crystal. Ow, it's hot, okay. What in the world? I've never known soul crystals to get such heat before. They're not usually supposed to. But okay, sure. Phew, it's finally cooled down, but what could have triggered that intense reaction? Not even at the studio did I ever witness such a thing, but maybe it was you. Maybe. These technological secrets were stolen were contained in a similar crystal. This particular sample has been loaned to me by a healing institute in Charlian. Okay. Tell me, in your course of your adventures, have you ever fervently wished to save someone? Absolutely. But fail to do so despite your best efforts and afterwards curse your own powerfulness? I mean, kind of. I've had to watch some of my dearest friends slip away. Forgive me if my question was indelicate, but there can be no doubt the soul crystal resonated with that desire within you. Sick. When I received the crystal, I was told that it should respond in this manner to my Eozian collaborator. I should entrust it to them. From our knowledge, it imparts the knowledge of semiotics, which would surely avail me in my mission. Developed at the Sessiion, Semionics is a discipline which combines the wisdom of medicine, etiology, and sorcery, and those who have mastered it are called sages. Though through medicine, a sage grasps the workings of the flesh. Through etiology, she unlocks the secrets of the soul, and through sorcery, she learns to manipulate the two. Thus trained, a sage has the ability to both strengthen and heal, yet by the same token, she is also capable of doing the opposite of causing harm. Sick. Not just anyone can take up a sage's art. No, one must be prepared to hold the lives of others in one's hands. Are you willing to take such a burden? If you are, and would swear to use it art for good, and I shall trust this crystal to you. Sick. The answer to that question is 100% yes. So have you come to a decision? The answer is yes, I will. Then I bear witness to you, your pledge. Do you swear to use the sage's art for good and to wield its power to the best of your judgment and ability? Yes. The answer is yes. Excellent. Chosen as you are by the crystal, I had faith that you would rise to the occasion. When this one you cry for succor, the crystal shall be your ally, for it bears the wisdom of sages past and their hopes for the future. By hearkening to whisperers in the following of their footsteps, we will come to embody those hopes. Save and change countless lives. Bro, the guy holding is insane. Lest you worry about how you learn the art, I can provide guidance. To an extent, in any case, during my time at the Sessiion, I had the occasion to study semantics. You see, while I wasn't gifted in spellcraft, I engaged to favor steel. I remember the lessons and will share what I know. Together with the Untitled Chapter, I'll provide you a set of sage's garments. Okay, cool. Bruh, the person using holy is the most unknown person in the entire world. So go on, take up the crystal and don your attire, and we shall begin your training. Okay. We unlocked it. Ooh. Okay. Now we're gonna get out of here because I'm not having it with that guy. Using spamming holy as a white mage. That's the most annoying thing on the planet. Okay. Let's put on the outfit while we're in the process of going over there. Oh, they added more slots for the weapons. Really? Oh my god, they did it. Damn. You can have 10, 20, 30, 40. You can have 50 weapons in hand? That's actually amazing. I actually appreciate that. The added goal gauging indicates in case added goal was just over time. No, I'm read that. Sorry, I'll read that later. That's cool. Here, let's put this on real quick. Oh, I see. Interesting. Okay. Listen, sorry, hold on. I gotta get rid of all of this stuff real quick. I gotta kind of organize. I don't know what any of these things do, but oh my god. I actually see all the people that are here? Okay. Okay. Like I said, I'm gonna figure this out later. I'm not gonna even worry about the thing right now. Everyone's here, which is good because I've already paid for your passage and the fee is non-refundable. The ship for Sessiion should be pulling in support soon, so please follow me and have all of your luggage close at hands. Sick. Let's find out how congested this cutscene is going to be. If not, I'll be very impressed, but it doesn't seem like it is right now, which is great. Okay.
They've almost finished loading our cargo. We should be ready to depart right on schedule, or so I'm told.
Excellent. 'Tis nice to have a smooth beginning to one's journey, at the very least.
It's funny. Master Louis Soir came here on a ship very much like this one. And now, years later, the street urchin he befriended that day is bound for his mentor's homeland. With his mentor's grandchildren, no less.
Aye. 'Tis upon reflection that every twist of time's river and fate's whims are brought into sharp relief. Thou hast matured much in the intervening years. Wert thou not caught attempting to relieve Master Louis Soir of his purse scant moments after he made landfall upon this dock?
that's a tale I'd like to hear.
Will this be your first visit to Sharlayan, Sir Estinian? Sir Estinian?
Are we strangers newly met? Why this stiff formality?
I, merely meant it as a professional courtesy, since we are now colleagues in an official sense.
I'd rather you dispense with the sirs, especially in private company. Or I'll be forced to respond in kind, little Lord Alphino.
You've made your point, Estinian. Painfully well.
Better.
Are you all right, Tataru? You seem positively distraught.
Distraught? Me? Don't be silly. I think it's lovely that they get to see their homeland. It's just... we're trying to thwart the schemes of an army hellbent on destroying the world. And, once again, I have to stay behind and worry that this is the last time I'll get to see my friends. I'll hold you to that.
Ah, good. You're still here.
Hori! Coulternay! What brings you all this way?
Bruh, it's been so long.
We're to assist the Maelstrom and the Kobolds with a lunar primal operation, so we thought we'd see you off before heading to the tower. Flamine and the others wish you all a safe journey, and promise that they'll look after things here until you return. We will too, of course. Aye, we your fellow Scions of the Seventh Dawn will do our part to ensure the end of the world won't happen on our watch.
We're set to sail! All aboard for Sharlayan!
It's time.
Then we must delay no longer. We will contact you the moment we learn aught of value. Wish us luck.
Have a safe journey, and please, please, be careful.
It's freaking time.
And so you venture forth unto the unknown. A fate beyond the horizon that cannot be divined. A future undefined and in flux. In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice. That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end. Treasure every moment, every step of your descent. And there, in the depths where souls and stars rest, find your truth.
Okay. Wow. The northwestern continent of Sessiion. Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna have to like lower my mic a little bit. Just to be on the safe side.
Here. Feel. Think.
The day has barely dawned, my fellow earlier riser. Though we're hardly alone in that. Envious of those still sleeping soundly, no doubt. Called out to you, you say? I've heard nothing myself. In any case, I dare say the sea air will do you good. Why not join the others on deck? Sessiion should be coming into view at any moment.
It's Fanar.
My voice yet reaches you. I am glad. Hear, feel, think. And thus do we meet face to face at last. My warrior of light, guided by the crystal.
What?
After your sojourn in the First, I believe you have your answer. You have gained an understanding of what I truly am, what Eidolon has always been, a primal. Zodiac was created to forestall the apocalypse which threatened the ancient world, and I was brought forth to bind him. Yet 7 times now, those who would orchestrate a return to that bygone era have rejoined a shard to the god I had sundered. The greater his strength grows, the swifter does mine own diminish. The power to draw your mind into the rift betwixt is no longer mine to wield. Yet though it taxes me sorely, I dare not leave these words unsaid. Even bereft of my guidance, you and your companions have accepted the burden of this star's troubled past. A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine. Wheels shudder and turn. Conflict looms. Monumental. Which will decide the fate of this world and all life upon it. When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
Cast your peepers to the fore, folks. Sessiion's just over yonder.
I will not keep you further. Your traveler's heart must yearn to behold this unfamiliar land. We shall meet again, and soon.
What?
Oh, what a fine morning. Oh, still a bit stiff though.
And a good morning to you too. Taking a look at the island already?
Then let's go. Let's go. Might still be room in the prow if we're lucky.
Ah, the sleepers have arisen. There she is. Good old Sessiion.
Oh, I see it.
Home. Home at last. Well, maybe not in Father's eyes, but we'll manage on our own, if we must.
You do know you're not alone in this, don't you? Indeed, 'tis as Sir Estinian said. Forget not the comrades who boarded this ship at your side, I prithee.
Thank you, my friends. We are ever grateful for your steadfast support.
Upon arrival, we will be disembarking into the heart of Sessiion proper. There is no greater concentration of wisdom in all the world. I am confident that somewhere within that center of knowledge and learning, we will find the answers we seek.
That music is godlike. I'm here for it.
Sessiion, the solitary island nation of the northern seas. Where under the watchful gaze of Phthalic, patron deity of scholars, academics hoard all manner of knowledge and secrets. Once, they deigned to accept foreign students into a distant colony maintained in the Dravanian hinterlands. How swiftly they abandoned it once the first Garlean boot set hostile foot on Alamegan soil. So averse to the prosecution of war, these men of wisdom, your would-be allies.
Wow. It's old Sharlayan. We're here. It's 5 minutes to go. Oh.
I thought they'd never let us off the ship. What's next then? Entry applications?
Hopefully they find no cause to deny us.
Hasn't Sharlayan all but severed relations with foreign powers? Those of us without direct ties, myself included, may be refused outright.
'Tis true that, as a nation, Sharlayan only forms trade agreements with a select few neutral countries.
Oh, I love the city. I love music also. It's amazing.
But from a practical standpoint, an island cannot afford to be overly strict with its borders. Especially not if that island's people are wholly devoted to the accumulation of knowledge. If one submits the proper paperwork, with satisfactory evidence of identity and intent, then foreigners may be granted entry.
May.
Quite. So let us be absolutely clear on these points before we proceed. The immigration officer will ask for your affiliation and your purpose of visit. Considering Sharlayan's views on intervention, I strongly suggest we avoid any mention of the Scions. Kral has laid the groundwork for us to act as associates of the Students of Sessiion, and our ostensible reason for being here is to aid in their order's restoration.
Okay.
Grahatir, it might expedite our progress should an actual student be seen at the head of our little group. Would you mind leading the way?
Of course. The immigration offices were this way, as I recall. Shall we?
This city's a bop. This music is amazing, and this area is all phenomenal.
Greetings. We've just arrived and are eager to make our way into the city. Would you be so kind as to process our entry applications?
Certainly. I see by your mark you are an Archon.
I was not ready for that voice.
I am. Grahatir of the Students of Sessiion at your service. I was assigned to an Eorzean survey team, but have returned to assist with the reformation of my order. My associates here will provide additional support.
Very good. I have paperwork detailing your group and its scheduled arrival for today. And it seems some few of your companions are also Archons. If you'll step forward, we can process those applications first.
Ishtola rule.
See how it glows? That list is etherically linked with the citizen registry kept in the main repository.
I've confirmed your status as Archons and amended your travel records accordingly. Welcome home. Now, who do we have here?
Alphino Leveilleur.
And Alize Leveilleur.
Your applications have also been approved. Having said that, the streets are abuzz with talk of how House Leveilleur's lord disowned his young progeny. And while such personal circumstances constitute no reason to deny you entry, I urge you to avoid exacerbating your present situation. Times are quite troubled enough already.
It's fair. It's very fair.
We shall keep that in mind.
These last two are not Sharlayan natives, but you will find their credentials are in order. An application was made in advance.
The two dragoons.
Name and occupation?
Okay. I don't know. Do the first one. I'll probably run it with the. Yeah.
An adventurer. Well, I suppose that is considered a valid calling in your native Eorzea, and it does indeed match the profile provided. You may enter. And you, sir?
Estinian Valino, formerly of the Order of the Knights Dragoon in Ishgard.
Formally, at least. And what, pray tell, is your profession now?
Estinian, don't derp, bro.
If you'll allow me...
Cryle?
My associate is a mercenary, hired for his strength at arms. Surely you are aware of the dangers we often face on our forays into the wilderness.
Mistress Baldessian, if you insist on sponsoring his entry, then so be it. But while I appreciate that desperate times call for desperate measures, I find your choice of company concerning. Be advised that even a single misstep may have severe repercussions for your organization.
I can totally imagine us, like, getting into some nonsense.
I have every confidence in my chosen company, dear and trusted comrades that they are. But I thank you for your concern.
Cryle, it is good to see you.
Likewise. Long voyage notwithstanding, you all seem none the worse for wear. There is much to discuss, but this is hardly the place. Let's be on our way, shall we? Oh! Welcome, friends, to Sharlayan.
As your mercenary, I should hope my welcome includes a generous salary.
Well, I had to say
Estinian.
something, Sir Taciturn.
Bruh. Alright. Alright, what's rule number 1? Shard. The music is amazing. Bro, there's the Lev, there's the Hunt Boar, there's the Delivery Moogle. Yo, feelings. Alright. You were doubtless eager to take in the sights, not to worry. The city is not like to vanish before we finish our discussion. Here we are at last, the great city of Sharlayan. You may have noticed some similarities with the Crystarium, yes? In fact, oh, well, we should let Cryle have to say first. We'll continue the conversation another time. There is inspiration from, whatchamacallit. I actually understood that. Even allowing that the years I spent in the first pass here in the blink of an eye feels like the city untouched by time. Allow me to extend unto thee thy warmest welcome. May the wisdom of my homeland aid us in our endeavors. I'm fine, honestly. Better to be waved through with a stern warning than be denied entry after all. This is actually fair. That was about as awkward as expected. Still, we're here now, and that's all that matters. Alright, Cryo. I'm glad I spotted your ship coming in support. The officers are born bureaucrats and sticklers for detail. In any case, you may relax and take a moment to get your land legs back. Lovely. Old Charlian, new to you. Oh, they're giving you 515 gear? Okay. That's not bad, actually. That's like the in-between. I mean, this is definitely going to be... This is new gear, though. So this is definitely going to be, like, dress-up new gear. We'll see what this looks like when we beat this quest. I had thought to launch directly into an explanation of what I've learned and how we might proceed. But this is their first time since Sessiion, and for the rest of you, a homecoming that was long overdue. You must have places you wish to visit and people you're dying to see. Therefore, we propose our agenda so that you may all have sufficient time to recover from your journey and get your bearings in the city. Once you're settled in, we can reconvene at the Baldessian Annex. How does that sound? 'Tis a fine suggestion. We may not be welcome at the Levier estate as such, but I should like to nose around the neighborhood all the same. I am equally untethered, as it were. There is no particular place that my kin call home. Still, I would not pass up the opportunity to reacquaint myself with the city. Likewise, a quick tour of our old haunts might even yield some useful gossip. The annex was west of the Ethereum Plaza, wasn't it? I shall join you there anon. Yes, we'll see you there. I too have places I would be remiss in not visiting forthwith, but I leave. Music is beautiful. What if you were Sessiion? My services as a guide of yours are for the asking. That won't be necessary. Until we reconvene, I prefer to wander as the wind takes me. But, okay. Well, it's gone. Well, Ra, would you like to join us then? You've been gone for quite a while, and this would be the perfect way to refresh those dusty old memories of yours. Oh, of course, if you will have me. Come, Sessiion awaits. That music is amazing. This game has done itself so well. Oh dear, his enthusiasm is infectious, isn't it? After you, my friend, I am more than content to follow your lead. Grahatia is now accompanying me. Keep me at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. What? As you leave Graha behind by entering a different area, using the Ethernet, or by putting too much distance between you, you can also speak with Grahatia to select the option to part in ways. If you wish to have Grahatia accompany you again, return to you. What? What? Okay. All set, let us be on our way. Our first stop, amusingly enough, will be the last stand. It's a cafe on the west side of the harbor. Cryo is also now accompanying you. Lead your two companions to the last stand and speak with Cryo. That's fucking sick! While you are accompanied, you may encounter conversation points along the way in which offer additional points to stop it. Oh my god. Alright. They're taking notes? I'm loving this. That's really cool. They're taking notes from another game series, but I love that they're doing this because honestly, people don't converse with the NPCs enough. This is perfect. Enter the glowing area, speak with your companions, and speak with them. Cool. Bruh, we definitely gonna take our sweet time. That's godlike. I kid you not. This is sick. Because I can run with them, but like I'd rather walk. Look at how sick! Yo, this is the most amazing game in the entire planet. This is the most amazing game in the entire planet. This is sick. I love this. I love this so much. Because the first thing I would personally do is walk over here, right? And then I'm guessing... Now that is a sight one could hardly forget. The great statue of Phthalic. As a student of Aldessian, I was usually quartered on the Isle of Val, but I would gaze upon the scholar's wise features every time I returned by ship to the city. This path leading out towards the sea is known as the Phthalic Stella, so named for the statue of the scholar which stands at its end. As you know, the Sharlayan people prize the accumulation of wisdom above all else. Thus, when Phthalic was chosen as our patron deity, it was more a matter of pragmatism than belief, in alignment of principles, as it were. We may have honored him with a rather impressive sculpture, yes, but our faith is not so restrictive as of, say, the Ishgardians. Individual Sharlayans can and do worship the divinities of their choosing. Oh, okay, so even though Phthalic is like the one of like Sharlayan, it's not like the one that people necessarily to like follow. I get that. I love that I can literally do this. This is the greatest game I've ever played. I truly have like compatriots. This is dope. However, the only issue is like there's other people here. That's fine though. Yes, the last stand. Now that is an inviting aroma. Alright. Here we are, the last stand. I may have mentioned this before, but although our research into nutrition and food preparation is quite extensive, this average Sharlayan tends to regard seasoning and flavor with a certain indifference. That's actually fair. How can I put this? The food is, it's bland. As encapsulated by our infamous Archon loaf, the prevailing sentiment towards cuisine is dietary value first, and taste a distant second. Right, I mean, it makes sense though, because like they're all about health and wisdom, so like they will pick the foods that are health for you versus taste, which is fair. There was one pupil at the studium, however, who could stomach the school's insipid meals no longer, so he quit his lessons and poured all his savings into building a proper eatery. And so the last stand came to be. It is, as the name implies, the sole dedicated outpost of fine dining in Sharlayan, the one and only bastion of culinary arts in an isle of otherwise mediocre fare. I seem to recall their burger being hailed as one of the most impressive items on the menu. Not that I've ever had the pleasure of eating myself. Okay. Because you were a typical Sharlayan when it came to cheap and convenient Raha, but surely Totaro has taught you how to appreciate a well-prepared dish. We should all stop in when time permits and sample the cafe's delights. Shall we press on? The stairs to the side of the cafe there will take us up to the Ethereum Plaza. See, smart people know they gotta walk with the characters instead of sprinting like this guy. Like this kid, respect. Because he's also walking with Graha too. That's awesome. I love this music. I hope this is the area that I get to chill in all the time. I think I might actually come here often. Forget about Lisa. Anyways, though, this is amazing. I truly love the fact, though, that I love that they've made it personable as a character. Like, you are not just like the main character. Like, you're also like there's inclusivity, not like exclusivity. Like, you're not standing out as like the most insane character known to man, whatever. Like, you are just, you know, one of the crew, and I love that. And this expansion has definitely enabled that more so just by adding this feature. Literally, it's insane. So the ether art looks different from how I remember it. Okay, that's fair. An unusual shape, isn't it? I assure you, however, that it is perfectly functioning etherite. Remember to continue stuff before we move on. True. Now, being the diligent tour guide that I am, I should mention of the Confluence, a research facility located on this very plaza. Its much vaunted discoveries are the reason Sharlayan stands at the forefront of teleportation technology. In deciphering the underlying principles of elegant etherites, it allowed us to understand and reconstruct what essentially a lost art. And up we go to our next destination. Our path leads northeast to Agora, the Sharlayan's largest marketplace. Okay, we're going northeast. Sweet. Ooh, Nature Boy's in the area. That's cool. Ooh, that's cool. I love the little map we have when teleporting Aetheryte, knowing where to go instead of looking on the map. Oh yeah, I know. I saw that they Ooh, that's cool. They changed something about that. I forgot exactly like where. I saw it though. I did see it. I haven't obviously looked yet, but yeah, it's cool that you can go to the. It's at the Aetheryte. Yeah, I like that. Looking at, dude. Can we like just like real quick? This gives me Idleshire vibes, but also I love that it's its own vibe. It's so freaking cool. It's nice though that it honestly it's like it takes like a little bit of everything and just like makes it this place. I love that like a lot. It's like almost like we're in Greece. That's like the instant vibe that I get. But I like that it's also, it reminds me of Idleshire like a lot, which is really cool. Do you mind if I browse the bookshelves for a moment? There might be some hidden gems I've yet to read. Only a moment, how optimistic. Feel free to browse all you like, but we won't wait around for you. Ah, perhaps I'll return here later then. These little open-air bookstalls are so uniquely Sharlayan. I'd always thought them a common sight until I visited other nations. Oh, the armor proprietor is there. Okay, I see that. And the tool supplier and the mender. There's a materia person and the. Okay, so this is like, I mean, Stewards, but like this is the place to be for a lot of cool stuff. Oh, there's a retainer vocate here. Bruh, this is some smart design. I love that they're doing this. I also just looked at my bird instead of my actual friend. Anything with cracking my coin purse for today, I wonder. Me too, actually. Welcome to the Agora, where you can find wares made in Sharlayan as well as a wide selection of imported goods. They also used to sell questionable prototypes from various research institutes, but I think that practice has thankfully died out for the most part. Otherwise, I can think of no better place to stock up for your next big adventure. Am I ever selling it? On a more serious note, the next stop on our tour is one which has particular relevance to our ultimate purpose here. We must head back to the Ethereum Plaza, follow the path north, and climb up the stairs to that imposing building at the very top. Now if I run, let's see. Yeah, they'll follow me. Okay, cool. I wonder how you lose them then, if you like... I guess if you sprint maybe? I don't know. I love that fountain though, that's actually really cool. I like how the guy's name is Albert, which is almost like... It's Albert. It's actually Albert, but like it's spelled like 14. That's amazing. That's really pretty. I honestly can perceive many people just being here all the time. Music is also phenomenal. That's the #1 takeaway point for me right now. This music is amazing. Tis a fascinating experience to walk around the city and contrast my image of the past with the reality of the present. Actually though, the building we're looking for sits at the top of the stairs to the north of the Aetheryte. Just keep walking up, you'll reach it eventually. The district we're passing though is called Archon's Design, a name which honors the 7 individuals whose contributions were instrumental in the founding of Sharlayan. It is the city's political and financial center, and it is also hosts a collection of research institutions. Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to run. I like that they made this city like huge. This is really cool. Like I can get lost in this city. It's honestly phenomenal. Like, look at how big this is. Like, I feel like if you actually, like, you can go all over there and can't see people. It's that big. I love it. What an invigorating breeze. A touch of biting, perhaps, but pleasant nonetheless. I love that. The building we're looking for sits at the top of the stairs. Oh, wait. Sorry. I had to stand inside of here, and then we gotta talk. Now, okay. I get that, though. This grand structure before you is the Rostra. The name refers to the original public platform erected here, upon which a forum of elected representatives would deliver orations and debate policy. Although the stage has since evolved into council chambers, the nature of the forum and the duties of its members remain largely unchanged. Am I boring you, Raha? You seem awfully distracted. My apologies. From here one can see the entire city spread out below. The vista put me in mind of my arrival in the first. Those who had gathered at the Crystal Tower asked me how they might go about building a new home. Naturally, my answers were all inspired by my knowledge of the finest settlement I could think of, the great city of Sessiion. And bit by bit, those few buildings grew into a town, a community, the Crystarium. I can almost see its echo. I see. Feel free to come up here whenever you wish. I don't think the counselors would object to you simply enjoying the view. Such memories should be treasured. For now, however, the tour must go on. Our spectacle of sightseeing concludes with the fittingly named Journey's End. Walk down the stairs to the east and continue straight ahead. Okay, well, I'm gonna go get this Etherite real quick. Or Ethernet, sorry, yeah. Not Etherite. Everyone's literally doing the smart moves. Let's go. Okay. I almost wonder what's in there. That horizon, though, man, it's insane. But do you hear that? It's so perfect. I honestly, there's definitely gonna be like, I hope that in the very distant future there's housing. I could easily live Limsa and come here for housing instead. I really could. I'm honestly not even opposed to it. It's amazing. This neighborhood is home to the highest echelons of Sessiion society. I never did feel comfortable enough to wander these streets on a whim. What, so like it's like Richville? Maybe. We've arrived at Journey's End. History tells us that this was where those who put ashore with Archon Nunkaref, built their first homes. In the present day, it serves as a residential district for those most important officials and the oldest Sessiion families. You'll see that one mansion is clearly larger than its neighbors. That estate belongs to the friends of House Leveilleur. All things considered, we should probably keep our distance for the time being. And with that, we bring the Sessiion tour to a close. I hope it has proven to be an entertaining and enlightening experience. Now, shall we head directly to the Baldessian Annex? You remember the way, don't you, Raha? Let me think. We head down towards the harbor, cross the bridge to our right, then follow the path below the Ethereum Plaza? Correct. After you. Alright. We can run over there, that's fine. This is also perfect, like, chill, like, you know, I can sit in the cafe, I can just sit here, like that person. I can just sit here and I'm vibing. It's perfect. This is it, the Baldessian Annex. As the joyous look on Raha's face has undoubtedly informed you, this is the Baldessian Annex. If you continue up the hill, you arrive on the doorstep of Phenomenon, but I think we've explored enough for one day. We can take you there another time. Inside with you then. Lovely. I'm back, and I brought Alicia and Noha with me. Right. You were right about the ship then. Hello, Graha. It's nice to see you again. And it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Lucia. I've heard of many a tale of your exploits. Ojika. Ojika has been an age. That's a name. Allow me to introduce Ojikus Jika, Administration Officer of the Students for Baldessian. I said that backwards. He oversees the day-to-day business of the Annex. You may recall meeting his cousin Ijik. Oh, cool. Eureka. Yes, okay. Oh yes, Eureka. I've read the initial reports. Quite a shock to hear what's become of the Isle. Do take care if you have the opportunity to rejoin the expedition. This place is like a second home for the students. The Isle of Val served as our main headquarters, of course, but we often had occasion to visit Sessiion. Whether to make use of the city's research facilities, attend conferences, or procure supplies from distant shores. And the annex here was built to provide lodgings for our members while we engage in such activities. Ever since our former headquarters, along with the isle itself, vanished, the annex has served as our base of operations. And yet, it feels so empty. With so many lost to us, our organization is a shell of its former self. The day will come when we see the students rise again. But first, we must ensure that the Telophore fall. Through that door on the left there is the main hall, where we can discuss our options moving forward. Once everyone arrives, that is, you'll probably have time to rest before our discussions begin in earnest. I've had private quarters prepared for you in the Andron, so please feel free to make yourself at home. Ah, the nap rooms. Perfect for an afternoon doze. Huh, I didn't mean to give you the wrong impression. The chambers are quite well appointed. Far more than some cheap roadside inn, you may be assured. 'Twas simply that we were often so busy with research or exhausted from journeys abroad that we would slip into the Andron just to steal a few winks. And thus they became known amongst the students as nap rooms, even if many such naps might as well last into the following morning. Say the word and I'll be happy to show you to your chamber. Hopefully the others won't be too long in coming. I'll wait for you all in the main hall. Oh yeah, I mean, I get that first. Honestly, I will absolutely like just gaze at the rest of the city, for sure. Because also it's really pretty. And it's really just like a stunning place. I might not crack at the side quests just yet because some of them have like their own like arcs, but probably will definitely get those done as well. So we'll see. Do you have papers listed on the walls of your room? 'Twas not unusual for occupants to pin up notes or documents and such, and then forget to take them when they went under merry wear. Sometimes it was quite deliberate, though. You might see complaints addressed to other members, or a thank you card for the engrossing literature someone left behind. Beloved traditions that I should know better than to dwell upon. If we are to create a future for the students of Sessiion and so many others, we must look to the days ahead. Feeling refreshed and alert. Our colleagues should be wandering in soon, so I suggest we stay here and wait for them to join us. Sick.
Pray forgive me. I was delayed.
It's fine, Oriange. We're all here now.
Let's get down to business then, shall we? Come what may, we must prevent the Telophoroi's plans from coming to fruition. At present, I see two paths for gathering the information which may aid us in achieving that goal. The first involves an investigation into the change which has come over Sharlayan, not to mention the recent inscrutable behavior of the Forum. As most of you know, the 99 members of the Forum are elected from the general populace. This alone guarantees a plethora of opinion with regards to foreign policy. The bibliotheques, for example, are a group of conservatives which would have Sharlayan focus on recording history, while remaining entirely uninvolved in the making of it. And at the other extreme, we have advocates for proactive diplomacy and direct intervention. My grandfather Galef was one such member, as was Archon Louisois. Yet despite our diverse factions and philosophies, the recent vote to deny Eorzea's request for assistance was unanimous. Even more concerning was the fact that many cited other, more pressing duties as justification for their recalcitrance.
Fortuno's refusal in Gridania had those same undertones. 'Twas as if, having stared unblinking into the face of impending doom, he had simply turned away to pursue something more important. But what could that possibly be?
A mystery indeed, and one which I ask for your help to solve. Our future may depend on it. As for our second potential path, it concerns a request made directly to the students of Baldessian. Our organization was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena the world over. Mysterious relics and ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth. Compared to our more isolationist Sharlayan colleagues, we have strong connections overseas, namely with scholars and academics who share our passion for the unknown. The request in question comes from one such acquaintance, Nidana, an alchemist residing in distant Favner. Her missive describes the sudden appearance of a tower, and the subsequent summoning of what I can only assume is a lunar primal. In response to this threat, the Satrap of Rads at Han, the individual who governs the city-state, has instructed the alchemists to find a means to deal with the spire.
The artisans of that land are heirs to an ancient tradition, one rather unlike that of their Uldan counterparts. It is possible, nay, probable, that they have gleaned truths unattainable by Eorzea or her Far Eastern allies.
They do, in fact, appear to have a strategy in mind, though it will require further research. To that end, they have requested an introduction to a capable warrior shielded by the blessing of light.
Assuming we divide our forces to pursue both of Kral's lines of inquiry, then having you join the group heading to Thavner would seem the obvious choice. But the investigation in Sharlayan is of vital importance as well. Equal, I think, to the Thavnerian one, given that the fate of the world may hinge on the results of both.
Yes, it is quite the quandary. Though it is a great imposition and an altogether too common one, our efforts would be more likely to succeed were you to lead the charge on both fronts. You are indeed our champion. As to which task to tackle first, we will defer to your decision. Let us next decide how everyone else might best be assigned. As for myself, I shall continue what I've begun in Sessiion. I should also like to steal the services of an Archon or two.
And thereby gain access to a greater range of reading material. I will help with that.
Allow me to offer my assistance. I have some small amount of experience in the field of research.
Alize and I would also like to help, if you would have us.
Anything to understand even a fraction of what our father and the Forum might be thinking. Of course, the more the merrier.
Right. The rest of us will make the journey to Thavner. Thoughts? Objections?
I passed through Thavner on my way to infiltrate the Empire, and though I'm not qualified to give a guided tour, I did gain a sense of where things lie.
I'll be happy to have you along then. So for this group, it will be you, me, and Urianger.
Give me a moment afterwards, and I'll supply you with all the details of Nadana's request. Consider this hall our rendezvous point once our respective tasks are complete. May our investigations prove fruitful.
Okay. Done deal. I'm here for it. Alright, real truth though. Sorry. I just want to open this and see what this looks like. Because it's a brand new piece. Oh, it looks like a jacket. Ooh. I dig it. Dig it. Alright. Noted. Okay, so we gotta either choose between doing the investigation in Sessiion or we go to Thavner. We gotta do both anyway, so let's start with this one. The process by which foreigners are looked at is fair and equitable. Neither wealth nor social standing offers any advantages to a prospective candidate, but that, fairly looked or not, Master Mosoya has still found them all to be insufferable. I still don't understand how the vote could be unanimous. What could possibly convince them all to turn their backs on Eorzea? If the forum's intent on concealing its intentions, then a cursory investigation will avail us little, I suspect. We will need to dig deeper and with the greatest of care. Our tour of the city was a pleasant distraction. I feel more ready now to tackle the challenges of the day. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna close literally all of these quests that are not related to, like, MSQ. So that way we can just kind of keep the active stuff, like, listed. Because I don't want there to be, like, a whole, like, plethora of quests on the right side. Alright, hitting the books. Kryl is intent on uncovering the reason behind the forum's inexplicable behavior. An unsettling change has come over Sessiion, but together we will divine the underlying cause for the forum's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the counselors directly is a fruitless endeavor. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. Which is why I began scouring Sessiion's archive of historical records for any hint of connection to the final days. Suffice it to say that progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day, but now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed all the swifter. Let us reconvene outside Numenon, shall we? Exit the annex to the right, and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the woods. Dope. We're not going to pick that quest up just so we can maintain the relevancy of it, and it's Thavner, so we'll just go do this first. because I did that last time for Shadowbringer, and honestly, I think the flow was better than trying to take on both of them and then kind of forgetting what the other quest is. So, yeah, we will just keep moving this way. Gotta get that Ethernet shard, you already know. I see this summoner carbuncles, let's go. Oh, there's a quest. I mean, I'll tell you what though, if I have to do quests to unlock like the next level content kind of thing, then we'll do those. I also still have the Wondrous Tales book, I'm pretty sure, available as well. Yeah, so I gotta turn that in at some point too. I'll probably put that in for Sage though, because I need to work on all my healers after completing the game. And we're obviously gonna start with Sage just to knock it out first. Yeah, because I'd rather just do that than take the time to, you know, work on Reaper. Like Reaper's fine. I'll work on Reaper like later, but like I'm not worried about it. Most likely what I'll end up doing is I'll probably unlock Reaper before I go into Bojin, and then we're gonna just knock both of those jobs out to 80, and then we'll bang out the healers and do it that way though. Yeah, exactly. So at least like, you know, you can take a job and like level that up to 90, which is gonna be great. So yeah, honestly, it should prove very fruitful. I think the only like caveat is being able to level up jobs to 70 to 90. That might take a little bit longer, like mentally. But especially if you have like a character or like an alt that jobs are not even at 80, those now will officially take longer, which is great, but still. So we'll see. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of Numenon, Sharlayan's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that, for the archives of Numenon extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the great Google Library pale in comparison to Numenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Sharlayan is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to the restricted vaults. I've dispatched Shola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alize and Alphano will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents a more of a problem. Thank you. But like, how dare you? Hi Neon, hi Boo, hello. 2 seconds. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Sharlayan history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you, a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot sort of clues we're looking for. Let us be about it, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they've found some promising tomes. Happy reading. Good morning, love. Everything is good. We're here. We're finally cracking at Endwalker. I personally was having like a... not like an issue, but you know, it took me almost like an hour to get into the game because like it crashing, but we're in here. People are still queuing into the game, so I totally understand that. So far, the game is phenomenal, as always. Music is top notch, 110%. They've also made this game even more inclusive than I could have ever expected. So honestly, story-wise, it's already insane, and we haven't even like scratched the surface. We're only like, I don't know, an hour in reading and doing cutscenes and whatnot, and even still, there's so much going on. So I'm hyped to even progress even further. So we'll see. Also, thank you for the 10 bits. I love you. Oh, were you looking for a specific volume? Only Archons may check out Forbidden Tomes, but if there's anything else you require, let me see the word. Okay. Well, the title on the spine reads The Story of Sharlayan. Okay. Long, long ago, on an island in the northern sea, there lived a Rogadan man by the name of Nunkref. Nunkref was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Nooncraft's crew hauled them over his ark. Oh my goodness. Reading. But the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Nooncraft wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safety atop Alabathia's spine. Oh, okay. Interesting. I like that. Refugees from surrounding regions huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Nooncraft gathered them to him, his crew, and his grateful passengers, and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast, where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. Oh yeah, totally enjoy. Enjoy your sleep, sweet dreams, and yeah, take care. Love you too, girl. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time, it became the city of Sharlayan we live to this day. Understood. So, rugged man, going through some war, had some nonsense, there was some peril, made the city, built a ship, teleported away. Bing, bing, boom. Also, Pidgey is, here now. I totally forgot that he got yeeted after. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Roads of Old, the colony. Okay. Many years ago, on the banks of the Phthalic and the Dronvanian hinterlands, a Sharlayan colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated, with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Sharlayans. 50 years later, 1361, a forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as the official Sharlayan colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Sharlayan, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Sharlayan inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following the Great Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Idleshire. Interesting. Okay. Okay. See, I knew that's why it seems so similar to me. That makes sense, actually. The following chapter go into some more prominent features of the Idleshire. This book does not appear to contain individual information on the form, however, okay. Oh my gosh, there's so many more books? I was not ready for that. Okay. Sick. Oh, there's one right there too. Okay. I mean, it's fine. I thought that there were only like 3 in specificity. But there's actually more than 3. I am rather in the middle of something, so I wouldn't mind leaving it. Okay. Whatever. So, Idleshire is even like old Sharlayan. That's cool. In the years which followed the founding of Sharlayan, civic policy and other matters of import were dedicated at the Ecclesia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year of 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Sharlayan would transition a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the form as we know it today conceived and created. Okay. Understood. An introduction to the heavens. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us is to be a finite space, but yet among the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains an unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few indeed who can explain in satisfactory detail why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It was the technologists of Allag who came closest to understanding the laws which govern the starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalamond and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past, that their positions continue to shift almost imperceptibly but measurably as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars will drift further and further apart, and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? This book is on the wrong subject. Also, they mentioned the ceiling of... I thought that they were talking about this building, but they clearly were not. It was more like a metaphor. Forever 20 summers. My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health, and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? I too once engaged in such foolish practices, but one night, engrossed in a philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years of life in which to achieve our goals. Thus do I share with you this mantra: I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19 or 23 or 40, whatever age you are when you discover this manual. Let that be the age you aspire to remain. Respect. Through mindful, healthy living, will you extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research, another day, another moon, another summer, to grasp the greater truths you pursued. In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, etheriological, and arcane viewpoint. Okay, book is definitely not the book I thought it was. I figured it was a well-torn book that it would work, but it clearly doesn't. Alright. Stewards of Wisdom. During the chaos of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, Archon Nimkef, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took to heart the words of their savior and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth in coin, and the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, citizens of Sharlayan would live by their founders' teachings for the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star. They would eschew the tools of war, and with knowledge deliver the worlds. Okay. So no matter what the case is, they are going to do everything in their power to avoid confrontation. Because, you know, knowledge is power, and that's going to be more powerful than actual power. But like battle, which I semi-understand. Okay. But I mean, either way, here we are. Ah, now I understand why everybody's out here. Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like I think theoretically they're being threatened in a way that like they don't have the power to like kind of deal with it because they're knowledge people, not like fighters. I think that's what's happening. But then I think low-key they're actually lying. I think they actually are powerful, but they just still don't want to create conflicts. Sorry, were you waiting long? Nah, I was reading. I wanted to make sure I'd borrow at least a few promising volumes. Alpha No and Cryo should also be along shortly. I was delayed in similar fashion. As far as I can see, no titles in the Archon stacks mentioned the final days specifically, so we have no choice but to start with tangentially relevant tomes, even if they are even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare and share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read, and a ready supply of hot tea. True. I was always quite fond of reading outside, but it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I would have returned to Sharlayan, we were not allowed to be allowed across the threshold. Wow, they're completely exiled from their own home. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position and that of the Forum will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day, I am certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family, or do they not live here in the city? Well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlayan, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern reaches of Ilsebard, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelt in Corvos, the coastal region opposite of the island of Thavnir. The Elegants founded a city in that fertile land, and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Makode to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and when the Fifth Calamity froze the seas solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain that they might prevent the remnants of Allegan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Garlean rule? For the past 50 years, yes. Some resemblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces, but Garlemald renamed the region Locus Amonis. Locus Amonis, okay. Interesting name. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. Huh. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Allegan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices had been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Allegan eye no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Alec. As the last child born with the Allegan eye, I was given order to the custody of friends and the students of Sessiion who had registered me as a Sharlayan citizen. I never even considered... Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thinker was taken in by Archon Loisois, was he not? Stories of adopted wives and rescued orphans are more common among Sharlayans than you might think. Yet, regardless of our origins, we are all provided with equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient... Wow, I can't even say that word right now. Perspiacity? There it is. Okay, I had to Okay. We outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. 'Tis exactly why I have such a love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Here, another good reason to get to the bottom of this forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books, Elysia. More company should be arriving at any moment now. Wow, so House Darnus was the reasoning behind that whole situation with them? That's interesting. Additionally, holy Christmas. Okay, I understand that actually. Okay. We've returned with our selections. Although I must say the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Crowell has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the Umbral Calamities, as well as articles written by prominent Forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, may I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarat firsthand, and I fear I may be overlooking critical details. Okay. I can tell you those answers. My thanks. Now where to begin? First things first. What kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? The worst kind of phenomena you can imagine. No, it was complete disintegration of creation magic, yeah. Because they created their own things out of fear, and those things were going kind of like haywire, so they could. Like... Yes, the unfolding catastrophe brought havoc on all manner of life. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Yashola surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Sessiions. Right. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? They say it began with a keen sound from the land itself, the entire source of business. I mean, that's what he said. That, yeah. Ah, yes, the Amorosians spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear the sound of ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophes was preceded by this ominous noise. Eventually, it resounded all across the star, and not even Amarat was spared. Right, because, okay, they mentioned that in the story, actually. It was very subtle, though, but it was very, yeah. So the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the Harbinger of Doom, it must have been quite distinctive and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with one of Numenon's Mets and ask after any books which make mention of such a sound. I mean, if it's coming from the ground, though? Okay. I have a theory, but it's very wide, so... Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? They summoned Zodiac. Yes, with Elizabeth serving as his heart, so many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. Right. We do not know exactly how Zodiac brought salvation to the star, only that by his godlike will were the laws of nature set all right. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Lives spouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls that they intended to render unto Zodiac, a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Right, because when they created Zodiac, they lost people. Yeah, okay. Yes, I get that. Or might have had Vana and her fellows not manifested into opposition in the form of Heidelin. Right, because the other people did the same sacrifice and she became the heart of that. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telophoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they are doing with those towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? I mean, like, that's weird though, because ultimately they're recreating the dark versions of the primals that already are rendered. So I'm almost wondering if they're trying to like experiment to recreate a primal per se. I mean, which makes sense though, because they're trying to create Zodiac without Elizabeth as a heart. I get that. Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech? A convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash. Right. But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye for Yashola, but 'tis time we begin studying these research papers. Yeah, because I think like they're trying to obviously like harness the energy of primals to create something that they can't create. They're trying to recreate Zodiac, but like without what sources they had beforehand. I think that's ultimately what it boils down to. So it kind of makes sense. I mean, again, in theory, but I'm not theory crafting anything at this moment in time. I'm just trying to figure it out. The Diablos of Cooper wing that? Oh, pain. Well, have fun doing the hunt with that thing. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced 1 or 2 possibly useful books. Also, Vix, are you watching the story because of the stream here, or are you doing it yourself? I know you're doing side quests and whatnot, but I wasn't too sure, because if you have any preference in how I do the story, then let me know. Okay. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Oriange learned of the source's recollections from the Garen oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Google Library. They didn't. Well, that book is not like requirable in during Heaven's War time, so I don't know. Okay. Right. He learned of the source's reflections from the oracles. Okay. 'Tis even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. Okay, so there's no insight as to the final days. It stands to reason that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. They don't know about the final days? Yet, when you confronted Master Fauchenal with knowledge of the Talafor and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon. Oh! Because if Sharlayan has no knowledge of the final days, then how did he know about it? See, so that means that he's involved in something that involves the Talafor, which means that he already has insight on that prior to the fact. So before we even mentioned it to him, he's already... Okay. Which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. So only so only the 99 members are aware of what's going on. The rest of the city has no idea. That's actually crazy. Yeah, so there's a secret that they're all hiding and that they're not telling people. That's why they're not getting involved. Okay. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. I mean, no, but, you know, hype mode. Yeah, so the people of the city don't actually know what's going on underneath the Forum. People are just aware that, like, they're just doing their wisdom stuff. But that means that they don't even know about what's going on outside of Sharlayan, which is crazy because like the towers are spewing all over the place because there's no towers in Sharlayan. The only tower that we have that's nearby is at Thavnir, as well as the rest of Eorzea. But they're doing whatever that they can to shield the knowledge of the towers away from Sharlayan people because they're probably involved in it on the low. So chances are there is a tower in Sharlayan that's being kept hidden somehow, some way. We'll find out though. After being Ishtola's research assistant. Yeah. Oh dear, you look exhausted, but what about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? Then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a memo at the reference desk will point in the right direction. For the moment though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Thank you. Your efforts into... yeah, he's lost in his reading. Okay. A seat at the last stand. She's a study break. Ready for a tea break? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down in the harbor, don't you? Come and meet me near outside the tables. I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Yeah, because I think honestly, if it's any indication, I mean, it's pretty clear that if the unanimous vote was made for them to not get involved in the Talafor business, they're already involved in the Talafor business in secrecy without trying to give any kind of indication, which makes a lot of sense. But the real question though is why are they involved in that business in the first place if they've constantly spent time excluding themselves from everything that is going on? I think that it, you know, the worst ideal case scenario that can come into place is that they're also trying to gain something out of the towers, but for their own usage, and potentially being under use of the Telophoroi, which would be the, again, worst case scenario. Because if they were, then like that's an L. Oh, this is the hunt thing. Okay, cool. I'll get this later. I thought that this was for the Aetheryte, but it's not, so it's honestly okay. I don't know what the whole process is for the Aether Currents, but as far as I'm aware, they exist. But we haven't entered any areas yet where it matters, which is cool. I just didn't want there to be any quests, which we'll probably honestly get those quests later. But for right now, it's pretty chill just to kind of come in here. Oh, I kind of see what's going on right now. Okay. As busy as ever, I see. How very Sharlayan that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this quite gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood for the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telophoroi. We might even learn something new. Worth a try? Alize's not with me. Cool. Because, I mean, yeah, like I said, the impression that I'm under is that, like... Ooh, sorry, I'm gonna be kind of weird. Is that the, No, not even. The impression that I'm under is that the Sharlayan city folk don't have a clue about the Telophoroi or the towers right now. But we'll see. What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. We're simply wondering if you knew of the Telophoroi. These enemies of peace have promised an end to all we hold dear, and wait, you're the House of a Year girl, aren't you? And this woman with you is obviously a foreigner. I'd heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to the rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I've naught to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce, that's a weird way to say it, of civility from one so enlightened. Come, we leave. Word. Yeah, because I think that's also the problem too, though, is that because Fortunato made it very clear that the Levier kids are not allowed to be even like near the housing kind of thing, and those rumors are already spread wide, like people are probably not gonna want to deal with the Leviers. But I also wonder if people dislike Fortunato as a result, even though I mean, not really though, because he's not really doing anything outside of just like doing his own thing. We'll see. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telophoroi and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Levieux. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fortunato that I was helping you... I see. Sorry to bother you. Yeah, I see. That's like I said, they're making it. It's very deliberate that they're not trying to help. Fortunato's telling the people that to not help the kids because they already knew that we were coming over here to come figure out the knowledge. That's how we know that like they're trying to exclude us from everything. It makes sense, actually. Welcome, madam. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mistress Alize I see there? My word, how long has it been? It's far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion in between lessons at the studium. That seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing you and Master Alphino had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything alright at home? It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levieux. No matter how discreet Master Fortunato may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for so long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now, of all times? We have questions, and only Sharlayan has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about the apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like an end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid, and that's what you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I can do to help. But maybe there is. You're a visit to Sharlayan, aren't you? then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. Oh my gosh. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're settling down for settling down the food, and you might get the answers you're looking for. What? Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? Bruh, do I get a free apron though? Bruh. That's the spirit. Pay attention to that, and I'll explain where each of these dishes need to go. Oh god, they're going to test my waiting skills. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. An omelet is for one of our regulars. A Highlander by the name of Gissa. Okay. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them, you should see a Makoni gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If not sure, ask something. Okay. I got it. Ah, my tea set. Lovely, thank you. You're welcome. The Talafahu? I'm sorry, I never heard of them or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to the current events. Now, if you want to hear about the ritual arcane practices of the successful era, common or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ear off. Okay, so nothing on final days or Talafahu. This is good stuff. She got the omelet. Ah, finally. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in. No time to waste. Let's go. What? That's a lot for it. Ah, yes. I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. Okay. At last, an oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. I got a big lobster. The final days. This is the first I've heard of it. Although, that would explain why my friend has been rushed off of his feet. It must be a busy time to be a gleaner. What? You know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of a sort. Travel the world procuring things that we haven't got here in Sessiion, priceless books and useless specimens and so forth. So named for those folk who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. Aye, by all accounts, gleaning is the most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Talafahu make good on their audacious threats, then many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor, and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been detected before, not like this. Okay, so gleaners are harboring things in from the outside world to the inside of Sessiion for the sake of, like, credibility, which I kind of understand. But yeah. Any talk with the customer, to be able to get anyone talking. Actually, yeah. Turns out that, like, they seem unaware of the final days, aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Right. But if the gazettes are printing out the news of the Talafahu and the papers, then, like, they also only have, like, general knowledge. They're not going to know what is in the inside that, you know, the Alliance is aware of. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't heard from Ryu in, like, 3 days. I think it's been since, like, I don't know, Tuesday that we talked to him. So, maybe? We should find out where he's at. But he's not on, so I don't know. Even Dickon had nothing to offer. He's the best source of gossip in the city. The Forum does have secret knowledge, and they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, a cup of coffee, I promise. But let's enjoy our drinks somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossips and their waggling tongues. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, he hasn't also been interactive in, like, our like chat, so I don't even know where he's been. Yeah, I mean, I do wonder though. I hope he's okay, or also, like, just sleeping. Probably sleeping, honestly. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan? Grahas said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been, how being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently. They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos. A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat.
I mean, the whole thing with the Gleaners, right?
Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the Gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And Gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Now we gotta sneak into Labyrinthos. Already. Yeah, because I mean their whole purpose has been they've been taking in cargo. They've been just having a bunch of imports come in. But it's not just books, obviously. It's also like there's knowledge to be had. We should tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners. Go on ahead to Numenon, and I'll join you for a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. This place is huge for like a general city. This place is huge. It's amazing. I love it. Cause like in respect of fairness, like Crystarium was like a little small by comparison, honestly. Ah, our boys online. Is Graha still deep in that book, though? I don't know. Is that coffee I smell? Did I miss a tea break? A little bit, bro. A little bit. My loyal assistant returned. There's a lexicon on the first floor that I need you to... Ah, you found something, haven't you? Indeed we have. Bro, the sun's out. Welcome back. It's been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. There's an import or shipment coming in on a constant basis more frequently than before, and that might actually have a response to the forum's investigation. Turns out that this is happening for a while. It makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo, it certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan put into motion. Being put into motion. Yeah. Let us see what theory we can build from the facts. As you still observed earlier, Numenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Adele and Elze learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sharlayans know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet, my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but also are somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telafra is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Wait, sorry. Oh, okay, so the destruction that the Telafra are bringing is not the final days, and the Sharlayans already have the claim to know that. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzier's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service of the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation ourselves, and if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. Oh, I would hate to spoil the surprise. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I should like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be great help. Thank you, Raha. Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. Sounds like an instance to me. Would it be a dungeon? That'd be weird. Or, I mean, we'll see. But I definitely get the impression that, like, dungeon, no. Instance, yes. But we'll find out. Yeah. Okay, so the Gleaners are somehow involved in the import that's happening within Sharlayan. Ready? Labyrinth is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Follow Alize and try not to fall behind. Bruh. Well, it's pleasant here amongst the trees. This is true. We should really move along. Oh wait. Nope. I thought I can follow her. If I could follow her, that'd be kind of cool. Now we run? Okay. Her little like Pitter Patter's cute. Keep to the path straight ahead. This is this is like so unique. It's amazing. They truly have found different ways to like implement, you know. A unique experience for the story. It's actually really impressive. I know, like, detail-wise, it doesn't seem like a crazy situation, but this is actually really, really cool. Here we are, through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back here, didn't you? It will make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry, otherwise we should keep moving. I got it. We good. Let's go in. Ooh, everyone's here. And there's a chocobo keep. Chocobo keep, let's get that first. Excellent. There's a lift operator. You didn't take a wrong turn to the rest of it, did you? I doubt the forum would take kindly to you barging into a private session. That'd be kind of awkward, actually. I've not been to Labyrinthos in the longest time. Even as a student, my visits were few and far between. How did the forum learn of the final days? And exactly how much do they know? More to the point, what do they intend to do about it? Hopefully the answer to at least one of those questions lies below. We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Right, everyone onto the lift and down we go.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge, buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing. But I assure you that we are beneath Sessiion itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
The echo.
Did you call to me just now?
Mm-mm.
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Interesting she heard a thing, but actually didn't mention what she heard. Interesting. Oh, Ryu. Hold on. Excuse me, you're Gleamer. If you don't mind, I have some questions to ask. Oh, okay. He's just doing his homework. Smart man. Smart man. You are here to help or give me more headaches because you don't have the look of a gleaner and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. Okay, so they're working overly more than they should be. Like, way more than they should be. The junk logger. I was not ready for this song. Let me think. The Rhea should be item 1058, Cuban tea, 1059, Snipperware, 1060, or 1061. Oh, I feel like it's stuffed with mocha grass. Why more load to take out that carry in? Why do all this at once at risk of mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Corinthian carrots for the Gerbanian carrots? What then? Okay, so the large shipments are coming in and out of Labyrinthos, but even still, but people are, you know... So the Gleamers are like doing stuff without real question. Most of those gathered here appear to be Gleamers. Why do you wonder? Oh yeah, because that person just made it very clear that like they were just handling things and they're just being told like, hey, go get this, this, and that. You know what I mean? But like they don't even know why. They're just being told by the forum to go get stuff. So it seems like the forum is making them go through a lot of hard work right now to figure this out. You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books and ore and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos. You know, sort and tidy at the inventory. Never seen another person like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could be that they're changing the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion? Haha. That's 2 hits. Your exchange with technical, yeah. Hit number 1, new expansion. Hit number 2, housing. Anyways, any luck? What else did you? Yeah. Whoops. So this grand operation began without warning. And for every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. Would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. We were right. The form is something up to something, and they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. Glorified Ratcatcher is named the quest. We would do well to learn more of what specifically the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're game, I have an idea. Let's go for it. Didn't one of the Gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? True, first guy. Perhaps if we would help him capture such creatures, that he might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. In the meantime, I will turn my charms upon this Gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting. Here's a question though, because the Ether Company is just no longer a thing. So, like, what is? Let me see. Oh, there's still no information. We'll figure it out later. You wish to help me find the marmots? I have nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. Well, I mean, I have to find some assistance for you, but, you know, I'm also looking for information. The name's Aaronville, friend, specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Nagyan marmots is a trial I've no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For mercy, there are no other marmot species on this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in a sack. Gently, of course. Right. Where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scampering around here, so we'll need to widen our search into the surrounding forest. Be on your guard. There are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot or you. I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. Tried to jump over the car. Ooh, I think I see it up here. I mean, can we just like kind of search around here real quick? This is crazy. This area is huge. Okay. Sorry, that's it. Yeah. Power surge? What's power surge? What is power surge? That's an older move. Action under draconian fire. Tree thrust. Wait, what? Oh, power surge is my damage. Okay, got it. So the okay. I was like, what? All right, we're here. Power surge is the disembowel buff now. Okay. Come here, you. Oh man. Barely have you ready to sack when the grizzly mouse scampers up into the other bush. Yeah, I honestly, like, even though I read all the notes, I didn't actually sit down and, like, read anything. I just know that it's all, you know, different and unique, which is really cool, honestly. I love going into this not even knowing what. Because right now, if I change it to Summoner... Bruh. All of this is gone. Is crazy. Also, they combined, Dreadworm Trance with Phoenix, which is interesting too. So we'll see. Also, where's Summoner or Black Mage at? They combined bruh. Sorry, wait. 2 seconds. It's gonna trigger me like a smidge. Oh. Okay. I'll fix it later. I gotta change the gear set. That's why. I mean, I'll try to do it right now, actually. Okay, I realized that too. I totally forgot about that. I haven't changed the gear set in so long. I like how it squeaked before we caught it. Don't tell me it. The rodent nimbly evades your grasp before once more disappearing into the trees. Bruh, can you just, like, work with us? Okay. This is honestly going to be quite the pain. This is for what? Reaper, let's say? So it's going to have to be number 3. No. Number 2. The problem, though, is that I'm going to have to reorganize all of these. Because now Sage is going to be number... This is technically Sage. This is going to be Gear... Oops. Gear's number 13. I've totally botched that, but... actually, no, I didn't. That's perfect. Okay. I'll organize it in a minute. I'm just trying to figure out, like... I guess up. Okay, I'll probably try to fix it now while I'm here. Okay, because now this is a thing, but now I need to... Right, because now... Cool. Ooh, there's a, Okay. Fine, first eat the current, let's go. I haven't unlocked Reaper yet, which is fine. There's all this, there's all that. Okay, and then lastly, we have to put on this. Now... Frick, I keep on messing it up. It's fine. Alright, little mouse, don't you go anywhere. Huzzah! More prepared for its speed this time. We got it. Okay, now that we gotta actually run back though, now here, like super unbelievably quick, because I keep on messing this up. I need to go in. Whoops. Yeah, that's fine. Here. Save that. Okay, so there's that. Now what we gotta do is I have to go here, and then it's number... Am I being weird? It's what? I just move it to number... No. I'll figure it out later. It's gonna drive me crazy. I'll just reorganize all of them, honestly. How'd you fare? I tracked down 3 in the pack, which leaves 1 unaccounted for. Got in this little bag. Ah, there's the armament out. Wait here a moment while I pull our friend in a holding cage. Thankfully, the Marmots seem to be unharmed. They've held up well in isolation, but it's much too soon to release them into the habitat. It's a good thing we were able to recapture them so swiftly. You have my thanks. Who tasked you to catch them in the first place? Why, the authority in charge of Labyrinthos, now and in perpetuity. The same officials who had us working day and night of late, the honorable members of the Forum. Who else? Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. Those were the two conditions I was giving for the stock I was instructed to procure. For consumption and easy to breed. Okay. I don't know what the form is planned for these creatures, but at the very least, I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. Ah, there you are. Is this the gleaner you mentioned, the one who was looking for lost marmots? Yes, correct. Interesting company you keep, friend. Who are you folk, anyway? I'm Kryl of the Students of Sessiion. These others are my associates. Truth be told, the Forum's decisions of late have not sat entirely well with us. That is why we've made the descent into Labyrinthos. We hope that by seeing those decisions put into action, we might more fully understand their reasoning. Wise and practical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty calls. Other animals to capture and enclosures to empty. Once again, I'm sorry that I can't offer you more for your services. Did you learn anything new for your friend there? Yeah, it turns out that they're trying to harness these things and for large quantities of reasoning, but also the Forum haven't really said why. So we've confirmed that the order for this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. However, the Gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. Yeah, exactly. I'd say that fits with everything we've heard thus far. We've also discovered when the operation was begun, the Forum contacted the Gleaners Guild ship and put their people to this great work some 4 days after the Telophori made their chilling declaration to recreate the final days. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners are kept abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus am I inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate. Altogether, it gives the distinct impression that this undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such comprehensive reconstruction of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making, but they were but awaiting the right time to put it into effect. And the Telophori's declaration was what set it all in motion? It seems likely, but let's not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle will stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Archeon? From there, we can reach the lower... Ooh. Kryl, what's wrong? What is it? I'm fine, surely. The sudden descent has left me with a bit of a headache is all. Nothing that will stop me from keeping soldiering on. Let us be about it then. At least let me take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to Archeon. We followed the path east of the forest where you were chasing after that mouse or marmot, was it? Anyway, 'tis the trolls you need to watch out for. Interesting. I mean, the issue though is that only Kryl is experiencing whatever is happening. It's not happening outside of there, so that warrants for concern, I would say. Okay, I'm gonna make this really small so I can like work on this on the low, because it obviously like it's being kind of a pain. This is definitely the wrong way to do this. Do not do this. Because I'm literally organizing the set so I don't gotta redo every single class, even though I'm gonna have to redo every single class. But this is really pretty though. Don't worry about me. I'm hale and hearty, in fact. I'm beginning to suspect that Nay, let's discuss this later. The investigation demands our undivided attention. Were you caught in mist of your way here? The sprayers keep the air humid, so habitat healed as close as possible to natural forest. This is the foremost material archive in Sharlayan. I should love to explore its treasures shelf by shelf, but I fear we have little time for such indulgences. Behold the Archeon. As Numenon serves as Sharlayan's literary archive, so does the structures house the city of wealth of material data. The architecture too is similar. This building you see is merely the upper entrance, an access point to the vaults carved into the cliffside itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples and specimens, as well as the detailed records which describe them. In a manner of speaking, the Archeon contains a physical history of Sharlayan's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. Well, we won't learn anything of you standing out here. Let's proceed to the main building and speak with the custodian. Okay. Yeah, anyways, so by concern, if Kryl is the only person experiencing the if Kryle's the only one experiencing these weird sounds, then something is happening that is not directly affecting us, and that's kind of an issue. Because it's got nothing to do with the echo, and I think that actually warrants for something. Hey, I'll take it. Okay. Because I would honestly expect, like, you know, the echo to be involved, but it doesn't seem like that's the case in this scenario, especially considering that it's affecting Kryl directly. I'm also wondering, like, who else could be affected by this as well? Whether it's like Graha or something, because, like, you know, students, but we have no idea. All we know is that it's just affecting Kryl. Hi, Pebbles. Hi, Boo. Paige says thank you. Hi. Sorry, before I continue reading this. Yes, so the expansion for this game came out literally at 4 in the morning today. So we've been up since 4 in the morning. That's all. But I'm doing good. Playing my new game. Loving it right now. It's full of mystery. So I'm like kind of wrapped in my head in this whole thing. So it's honestly crazy. But it's awesome though. Yeah, Neon was here as well, and she scared me, which is great. I don't know if I think I turned off the sounds just so I can kind of have the stream do its thing with the game, but like, you know, we'll be here probably all day actually until we beat this game. Kid you not. So 12-hour stream is here already. But yeah, hope you're doing well. Good morning to you, beautiful friend. Have some coffee, some breakfast. Bruh, I saw that. Thank you. That also scared me. Yeah. Okay. We found the custodian here in Labyrinthos. Greetings. We were here to pursue the Archeon's vaults. Peruse. I said pursue. Peruse. You are clearly not Gleanison. Might I ask your affiliation? We belong to the students of Sessiion, but is that relevant? I was given to believe that the vaults, those open to the public, were at least open to the public. Ordinarily, yes, but that would be the case. At present, however, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved in the reorganization efforts are permitted to enter. What? Alright. They're hiding something inside in the libraries. Not us then, I suppose. We had better move along to another facility. Oh, thank you. Enjoy work, boo. Love you. This building has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes? Might we at least make use of that? Really? That service has also been suspended, I'm afraid. For the time being, priority has been given over to the conveyance of inventory. Okay, what? So this is as far as we can go? I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after our restructuring operation is concluded. By that time, it'll be too late, and we were so close to getting answers. We need to rethink our approach. Let us step outside for a moment. Okay. Shall we? Okay, so they're obviously hiding something inside of this archived vault. Students of Sessiion. Okay, well, he's obviously involved in the scandal as well. There's some crazy scandal happening in the Archeon. So the Archeon is what's storing all this something. If they want to close the facilities and they also announce it, the students must be furious. Labyrinthos is constructed in the shape of a mortar. The upper layer is called the outer circuit, and the medial circuit lies one tier below us. The four must be wary of exposure indeed, so to heavily restrict the use of public institutions makes actual sense. Because if anything kind of leaks out from the buildings, it's like, bruh. We are at an impasse. As we have no other leads, I should like to pursue, see, how you say pursue, this one further. But I doubt that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed by heartfelt pleas. We must seek other means to access the lower levels. 'Tis likely that the people in this area are involved in the restructuring in one way or another. If we were to ingratiate ourselves, I said integrate, they might allow us to accompany them on the lift. Let us ask around. Surely someone is in need of a few strong backs to lighten the load. Okay. Well, I gotta figure this out now. Let's see. Yeah, because if they're using they're storing stuff. They're storing items and gears and just, you know, it's almost like they're preparing for an apocalypse. All right, sounds good, sister. Enjoy your day. Tell them I said hello. Am I taking the lift? Oh no, we're just students. They won't let us into the Archeon, even though we found. Actually, we have no idea what it is we found. There's no record of such a creature anywhere, but it was wandering around Tranquility, and so we thought to donate it to the vaults. Oddest little squeal, don't you think? Anyway, I suppose we'll have to take care of it until the Archeon is open again. Okay, there's a creature inside there that's apparently, like, not familiar to this area, so that's interesting. Is there nobody out here? Oh, I guess not. Okay. Oh, sorry. Totally missed it. Okay, I figured someone was out here. What's that? Take you down on the lift with me. Sorry, but not a chance. I've been up and down all day, and only now have I finally found a spare moment to rest. I did see a Gleamer fellow heading out to the gate there, though. Shouldering a large pack engaged in some manner of task. Maybe he'll be headed down below after he's done with whatever it is he's doing. See, problematically speaking, people are doing stuff at the whim of the forum, but they're not really given reason as to what they're doing, except they gotta just go do it. Nice. So I feel like that's kind of troublesome, because if they have that much power to just be telling, like, workers, hey, go take care of this, no questions asked, it's like, there's got to be at least some kind of explanation as to what is being done and for why. But if they're literally not asking, something is afoot. But of course, I guess that it makes sense though, because the forum wouldn't really relay that information outward anyways, because they're all about like secrecy. So even from like an operational standpoint, it kind of makes sense that they're just being really hush hush about literally everything. But why that's the case is still unclear to me. I mean, they haven't really revealed it, I guess, but, you know, the whole purpose of this is to slowly kind of unravel everything that is going on, so... I wonder what actually is going on, though. Search for the pack ring. Yeah, looking for the Gleamer. Found him, along with all the people. Oh, it's Erenvel. Okay. Quiet, you'll frighten it away. Bro, what are you looking at? Ah, it's you again. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. The Cloudkin I need to capture is close. Very close. Well, I got you. You wish something with this too? You spend your time in unusual ways, my friend. Still, two hunters are generally better than one. Very well. The canal here is a common gathering spot for birds of all kinds, but the one I'm after today is the hornbill. Its feathers are green, and its cry is a distinctive cause. Single it out and shoot it with a sleeping dart. The effects are short-lived, so a lion wait down by the riverbank to claim water quarry. Be sure to hit the right one. Oh, am I gonna like snipe it from here? Ah, okay, green. It's got a single caw. Where is that thing? I think it's that thing. I mean, we'll find out. Yes. Yes, sir.
A fair shot.
He talks.
Nicely done. Let me truss this one up, and I'll make my way over to you.
Okay. I didn't think that he talked. I mean, like with a voice.
There you are. Any new revelations?
Strongly painful that like it's lagging. The frame drop is crazy, actually.
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill. I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove
cheers to you, babe.
specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose.
We've removed specimens no longer needed for study.
Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a cleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
So weird.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers hand-picked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth. Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
That's crazy talk. Pretty.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
That's what I was thinking, actually.
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
What? Why would you say that?
Oh, like leaving the city?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance. They're comparatively hardy species too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will of course follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Bruh. They're being so secrecy about
Pray
this.
forget I said anything.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down. This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
You're quite welcome, but consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
Respect, bruv. Respect.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
Whoops. This is cool. Oh, you know what else? I don't have macros. That's honestly why this is not working well for me. Because let me think. There are... Oh, they kind of reorganize it. Interesting. Okay. Wait. Sorry, I was trying to do mental math in my head. The music with which unlike the lowest level of Labyrinthos, which is rigid with its rigid security, one can usually roam the middle layer quite freely. Let's see if I find. Let's take a quick peek inside, but it's awfully dark in there. This must be it, the entrance to the mine shaft. 'Tis faint, but I hear something moving within. Creatures homed there by researchers, you think? Well, slave and beast aside, we will need to watch our footing. We should tighten our shops and such before we continue. Man-made though it may be, the shaft was designed to resemble a natural cave system. Heed Erenville's warning and do step carefully. Okay, she said the same thing. I never would have noticed this cave on my own. Thank the scholar that Erenville knew of it and that you were there to persuade him to share. Assuming everyone's tightened their straps and checked their gear, then I say we head on in. Given the terrain ahead, though, we might be wise to leave some distance between us. We don't want to be stumbling over each other if it comes to a fight. Take it slow, and don't forget to check your surroundings from time to time. We can meet up again at the other end of the tunnel. This place is huge. Oh my. Oh, I realized that too, though. I just like kind of keep the eye, though. Yeah, you see, you keep the red glow. I mean, that's noteworthy. Interesting. You keep the red glow. I just lose the blue one. Huh. So weird. Okay. I mean, hey, I'm here for it. I get it. Truly I do. But I think like once you activate the what is it? Just the bar, like the meter for the Dragoon meter, like it should just automatically function. Wait. Sonic Thurscay's Power Surge. That's actually pretty lit. Also, I have not seen a single ether current. Just keep an eye out for those green orbs. That mineshaft was infested with lithocaps. Some sort of research project, I wonder. I suppose they are a most unusual creature. Why do they develop such long limbs when all they do is shuffle about narrow tunnels? Did you know Quiet almost took a tumble back there? She can't possibly still be dizzy from the lift. Okay, it's catching on. That's good. I was being careful, I swear. The slope was steeper than I thought, and I lost my footing there for a moment. That's all. I'm not injured, if you don't count my pride. Everyone seems to have made it through without incident, nothing of consequence at least, and as promised, the tunnel has delivered us onto the medial circuit. As I recall, this here is where they keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. Jesus. If everyone's assumption holds true, the specimens that are being collected in the preparation for a great migration, then we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Let's follow the path to the nearest facility and see what we see. Okay. Oh, we're approaching big territory areas now. Oh god. I'm very concerned I'm gonna have to reorganize my entire Dragoon hotbar. Only because of literally friggin' 2 moves. I mean, we'll see. I have no idea yet. It's too soon to say. I haven't even leveled up a job in skill yet. Here, I'll put Pidgey down for a little bit. Aha, now I know where we are. This is Miro Agronomics. Oh, okay. They mentioned this in the patch notes, or the live letter at one time. Labyrinthos is host to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies of cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands, and it is this facility which coordinates and oversees those efforts. The fruits of their research go to feed their Labyrinthos colleagues, or so I hear. More notable success might make it to the Agora. Foods so exotic you'd be hard pressed to guess their origin, let alone how they might taste. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name. Only a list of nutritional benefits scribbled on a card. I see no gleaners hereabouts, yet these workers seem to share that same sense of urgency. 'Tis possible they know something of the forum's plans and their underlying motivations. Worth looking into, wouldn't you say? See what you can coax from the workers. The rest of us will do the same, or cast about for useful clues. The gourds we grow here are something of an agricultural wonder. We've crossbred varieties from all across realms to create pumpkins that are sweet, sizable, and rich in nutrient. W. A field full of ripe vegetables being left to rot on the vine. Not a single picker hard at work. Clearly procuring readily available fresh fruits in the form's priority. It's weird though. They're collecting animals and just like stuff on the outside, but collecting inside stuff is not a thing. No two corners of the world cultivate the land in the same way. My research involves poring over the many texts gathered by the gleaners to produce something altogether greater than some of its parts. Oh, hello there. We weren't expecting visitors. Not with use of the lift being restricted. How did you make it down here anyway? We climbed through the mineshaft. The mineshaft, you say? Well, you're a much hardier soul than I. Under normal circumstances, I'd reward such tenacity with a guided tour of the fields, but I'm afraid the forum has us filling orders list a mom long. Massive yet detailed requests, literal wagon loads of crop samples, and hardly any time to put them together. When I first heard of this grand reorganization, I assumed we would be shuffling around old stock to make room for the new. Then came the orders for ridiculous quantities of seeds we've already thoroughly researched. Passing strange, eh? I pressed for an explanation and was met with vague assurances that all would be revealed in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. Let's go left. What crops we're raising? Well, as you can see, this one is a variety of grape. Only only needs a good source of sunlight to grow, and the conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Hardly surprising given that it's native to a particular locale in the very place upon which Labyrinthus was modeled, a region in the south of Ilsebard. It boasts remarkable habitat diversity, allowing for a myriad flora and fauna to thrive. Chilly peaks in the north give way to swaths of temperate plains, which in turn transitions into a hot, humid coastline. Such bountiful territories are contested, as you may expect. Used to be called Corvos before the Imperials named it Locus Harmonis. Okay. The Forum saw it not as a prize, however, but as a researcher's ideal environment, one whose climates we strove to recreate within the confines of Labyrinthos. It's since provided a rich foundation for countless experiments in cultivation. Okay, so this place is obviously designed to kind of allow crops to be able to be very bountiful based off of, like, you know, weather and nutritional growth. And so this territory is important, but also this territory has a previous name, and that is under Garlean rule, or at least it was. So, TBD. Of course, the artificial sun is so brilliant as the real one. However, it allows us to grow crops without having to worry about inclement weather or changing seasons, making the results of experimentation much more consistent. True. I mean, it makes sense. Do I have to be taken down below more than I can carry, and then some? Most of our stock is sent off for the cargo lift, but some of it has earmarked for aerial transport, hence the stack of crates on top of that hill over there. God's hauling the lot up that slope was a job and a half. Yeah, most is sent through the lift, but some has been marked for aerial transport. I'm intrigued by what, I mean, it's kind of weird what they're going through right now. Because they're literally just trying to figure out multiple ways to pretty much allow everything and anything to be placed into the Archean, which is, like, fine, but what they're bringing in is, like, almost random. The labels on these crates tell the story of their contents. Bundles of common seeds, saplings accompanied by sheaves of reports. What? Why? There's no consistency with what they're trying to bring inside the Archeon.
Hard to look away, isn't it? But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion. You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Sessiion at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration.
Huh. Harpoons have different names based on different cultures and different locale. Okay.
As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the heart bloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
Have you learned aught of interest?
These flowers change based off of emotion, and nobody knows
A
really.
flower that reacts to one's feelings. Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we've failed to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly. Isn't that the entrance to the Archaeum? Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
Wait, but he...
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member, or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all... Cryle?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
Okay, Cryo.
I'm glad you agree.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him. I can almost reach you.
We have yet to use the echo for anything since we've been here, so I mean, something is happening personally within Cryo's mind that this is actually occurring. So, to a degree though, I understand this. But to another degree, I'm still puzzled. Let's get at him already. We've waited too long as it is. It feels wrong to spy on Erenville, helpful as he's been, but what other choice do we have? Forgive me, my attention has been elsewhere. We were following Erenville, weren't we? Is Cryo still feeling unwell? I've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving too. We can't let our quarry slip away. Coffee is calling my name right now. Okay, that being said, gonna take like a 10-minute break. I've been sitting here for almost 5 hours, so we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Gonna get breakfast, get coffee, the whole 9 yards. So don't go anywhere. We will be back in a bit.